You started your career in the product and growth. Then you made transition from SaaS to a social app, the wedding industry. How did that happen? When did it start to you?
It happened over time. I was working in the US in about 2016, 2015. That time, my visa didn't go through. I had to figure out, next steps. But we thought that, okay, we want to build, let's say India's first matrimony product, for people using a lot of data. So that was kind of like our thought process. And then we moved to India.
When did it start to you that this is a marketplace which is very traditional, and now it is ready to be disrupted?
Uh, it happened over time. I think the biggest transition is I was working in the US in about 2016, 2015, and that time my visa didn't go through. I had to figure out next steps. And I was dealing with a personal problem at that point in time, which is my personal matchmaking for matrimony was just starting up. And I think same thing happened with my friend also, whom we're sharing the same room. And we both were also classmates at MIT. So, his engagement broke. I started, living. His engagement broke. I started searching for a marriage partner. But we thought that, okay, hey, we want to build, let's say India's first matrimony product, for people using a lot of data. So that was kind of like our thought process. And then we started in the US, but we moved to India. After initial struggle of 18 months or so. I think every entrepreneur goes through it, so nothing new. So we were able to position it correctly. We became India's first matrimony app without parents, and that was our entry in the worlds of. India is known for world's largest matrimony product, which is an IPO. There is an IPO company, Bharat Matrimony. That's there. So I think once we entered, it actually picked up. 2019 it picked up. 2020 it was COVID, picked up again. And then during these time we were applying to Y Combinators, like back to back, I think 3 years. So finally we applied again, and we stated. So we changed our story. So we said, okay, it's not just matchmaking. We are going to be a platform selling everything under the umbrella of wedding. So whether it's matchmaking, gifting, in India, astrology is huge, wedding planning, loan, anything, relationship, advice, anything that comes in, we'll sell it, right? So we're kids, but we had some ambitions. And that's time, Y Combinator took us. That was also, it was there, I think, early days of picking many, I think, startups from India. So we're the last ones maybe to get in. But we're part of winter 21 batch. We doubled our revenue during 3 months of time, and then we did pre-series A. And once we had some funds in place, it was the first time we started investing into our technology and products. So we scaled our development team. We scaled our other teams, but largely major development happened in our product, and technology. So first time in the world, a matchmaking became a super app. And that time, if you look into Southeast Asia, right? So Gojek is a super app, a ride, booking app, but you can also just book your food and groceries and other things. Same thing was happening in WeChat in India. No broker, Swiggy, they were doing it. So it made sense that okay, Asia is largely ready and India is ready. So we made many produccts for 2 years from then. And I think doing that over time, while many things did not work out, the wedding planning business was growing. And what I mean is, it's not just planning, but I'm talking about complete fulfillment of your wedding. And that's where I think the people, I think the complexity of booking venue, decor, photography, bridal makeup, logistics, and holding them accountable for the services is extremely broken. And so that's when we came in. And then eventually, the wedding company was incorporated as a complete new entity. And that's something is you happen to represent the same. I have a funny story. I want to share that to the listeners. So last year, I traveled to US in the Bay Area, and obviously as a gesture, we'd invite all angels. So about 10, 15 angels, just came at the same. Even one angel is actually an astrologer. Okay, and he read palms and this. So we are just informally, we are just talking on that dinner, and he looked into it and he said that, hey, from what I see, you will be leading a new company. And
Okay.
I challenged him. He did talk about two of the things that on my personal side, but he said that on his professional side, you're going to lead a new company. And I said, this is absolutely wrong prediction. I have no intent to leave the current company, which is better half. I'm fully committed to it. And he said, Pawan, that's what I see. And a year later on, I didn't realize that we'll go through, a complete spin-off. The market would demand that
Mhm.
it was also good enough for our, stakeholders, as well. But finally, I mean, the wedding company was incorporated as a new entity, and I mean, I happen to be, I think, a CEO
Wow.
maybe of the last company. I, by all our natural means, it happened that I also became, the same thing, same co-founder, same team, but exactly happened, and that prediction came out to be true, which I had just 0% confidence on a year back.
And that is when you decided that astrology will be also an offering under the wedding company.
Actually, this week I have reached out to the same investor, stating that how will now our product development, our fundraising, everything is going to look.
What is your core user persona? Who is booking those weddings through you? Is this the bride and the
Oh,
groom or still their parents?
it's actually both. So first is so about 70% of our consumers are brides and grooms, and surprisingly, 30% of consumers are parents from nuclear family. And I think as you are thinking logically, it just seems right? That okay, destination wedding, you have to go a number of times to the city, to book your venue and vendor, and eventually you have to go to wedding. So naturally, you'll go with a planner. Actually, our orders are evenly split between destination and local cities. I mean, today, I mean, we are an international company. I mean, we've delivered wedding in Thailand, recently. Uh, in India, we have 90% of destination wedding stack, from Goa, Jaipur, Udaipur to Jim Corbett, Rishikesh. We are locally operating in Delhi NCR, Delhi, Gurgaon, Noida, all three cities, in Bangalore, big tech hub. We are operating here. So we are in all of these cities. What the insight that we see is people are actually paying for convenience if you offer value for money, and that is reliability of the services. So out of
Mhm.
10 million weddings, 10 million wedding, actually 11 million weddings happening in India, only 1% of the weddings are at high budget, which is exactly the $100,000, $500,000, or $1 million of the wedding. Now, if
Mhm.
you see, for 99% of Indians, you know, for those who are doing the weddings, which is brides and parents, like, combined, what is that need that all of them has? Okay. So all of them, the primary need is a service quality, that they don't want, a decorator, let's see, a venue, not to deliver on the rooms booked. It happens sometimes non-hygienic rooms, sometimes the check-in experience is not that good, sometimes the catering people just really don't like the catering. When you look into decor, I mean, nobody really understands your mood board design or taste or color choices or palettes or your budget. And then eventually the vendor does not show up, and reliability and project management and payment, it's huge. And then if you have to do the same thing for photography, so you have a certain budget in mind, the photographer is not agreeing, it's not showing up, reliability, less crew members, project delivery. So India has 100% record of photographers never delivering on time. So now this reality. When you look into, so my wedding happened about what, 3-4 years back. I have a 2-year-old son now, but in my wedding, for my wife, okay, the mehendi artist did not come. Scheduled page, scheduled to come at 9 a.m., did not come. And the entire family was running around to book the next mehendi artist. This happened in tier 2 town.
Mhm.
Okay. Obviously, this was Rachi where I grew up. It happened there. And then by 11:30, I think we paid double the money and somebody actually showed up. Now, if you see, this is really broken at the core. Okay. And only 1% of India has solved it. 1% of Indians who spend a lot on their wedding budget by hiring a planner, charging exorbitant fee. Actually, our customers are largely in the mid budget range. 60% of our customers are in the 100 to 150 range. 60% of our customers are in the 100 to 150 range. 40% of our customers are in the 150 to 150 range. 40% of our customers are in the 150 to 150 range. Actually, our customers are largely in the mid budget range. So 10 lakh to 50 lakh. In fact, world operates like this, like the pyramid, right? Top 1%, then we have 20% mid budget, and you have 80%, 79% low budget.
Yeah.
So we operate in mid segment, always right. Aspirational, upper and middle class, hungry for reliability, can't afford a planner because they don't exist. So what are the options that you're left with? You do a self-managed inefficient weddings by distributing the work, and everybody messes up. Everybody on the wedding. I mean, you see somebody is at the airport, the cab driver did not show up. So there's a problem, right? And then somebody is dealing with, let's say, a caterer, somebody is dealing with photographer, somebody is dealing with some artist, somebody is dealing with logistics issue. All of that actually just goes wrong because you have just pulled in maybe wrong set of unreliable vendors, but nobody is really effectively doing it. That is the anxiety we solve for this set of, currently, the set of Indians, which I'll tell you that this is a world global problem which we are expanding. That's why we are doing even geos outside India. So so as this, I think the reliability becomes a core need, for all of them. So we offer first, anything that you book from us, number one, it's contracted, it's mentioned, the venue rooms and the catering and the function time and vendor permissions are mentioned. For decor, the designs and element sheet and that pricing is mentioned. For photography, the packages are mentioned and so forth. So number one is reliability. Second thing is affordability. When people charge exorbitant fee, I think that's not good for consumers. So our fee is slightly less than half of what is the market. So because of our operational skill, we are able to do it. So that's why consumers like. Suddenly we are affordable. Suddenly we are affordable. We are value for money product. The third one is accessibility. So affordability, so reliability, affordability, and accessibility. Now for accessibility, since we operate in so many cities, a bride from Delhi, a groom from Bangalore doing wedding in Goa, a bride gets a local support through our software and local teams. Groom gets local support in Bangalore, multi-city, and when they go to Goa for their venue booking and decor and their wedding, they get local planning and fulfillment support. That is, no planner can match that scale. When we operate in 50 cities, a planner is usually restricted to one city and one area. Today, when you go to our website, in a click of a button, you can switch from Goa to Jaipur to Udaipur to Thailand. In a click of a button, you can do that. It's just practically not possible by a human being. You can see automated real-time availability of wedding venues. And this information was in black box on pen and paper, so we automated it. Now, on some clicks itself, you can just see decor designs and pricing. Now, that is the level of productization that we are doing. That is the level of category standardization that we are doing. Now, when we look into what problem are we solving, is it Indian or non-Indian? The answer is we're solving it for any consumer. Our goal is any consumer going through a complex wedding planning process, go to the weddingcompany.com, use our software, self-serve model. And when you need little handholding, our team is there, and then they're going to take care of the fulfillment. So that is, I think, brilliant how it's expanding. Today, our lead time from our planning to launch of a new city is 30 days of time. So once we plan and when we want to launch Bali, because of our technology, because of standardization, because of our supply pricing, design, photos, availability, pricing, that's something we standardize. So just very, very fast today. When you want to do that using a platform approach, but it's, I think, brilliant how we have actually come so far.
Yeah, but Pawan, this is mind-boggling to launch a new city in 30 days, talking to all the vendors, vetting them out, getting them pricing, signing them up, having them on platform. I don't think, on Amazon also, if you want to open your store, it will take more than 30 days.
No, I've done it. So Thailand was never so. I didn't allow my team to do weddings in two cities, which is Mumbai and Thailand, because I said no. Team delivered it and told me, Pawan, actually it was done. I said, okay, how do you do it? He said, Pawan, I think we have a model in place. So what we do, because our product is so strong, our central team on board. So first is scans the internet, puts all of the data. So that's a faster one. And then after that, in our average order value, picks up the venue, then call them fast. Instantly, we get the data in place. For decorators, then we decorators, photographers, something we do the same thing. And this is a parallel team that works in parallel to set up a city sitting remotely from our headquarters. You are not physically there. And these are usually sourced from our planners. Then we partner with Usually, right? As we get, and the order also comes globally. For us, the orders are coming from multi countries now, from US, Canada. We're doing, weddings from Dubai. From India, obviously. So as they come in, and then we show them the catalog, and once they like it, we say, so why don't you start the wedding planning process? And the phase one is going to be venue booking. Once we do it, then the phase two is going to be decor. Then it's going to photography. So we do get lead time, but venue is we are very, very strong today in doing it. I can look, today we don't want to go to the US market, but when we plan to do it, I think our launch time is not going to change.
Mhm.
so
Right.
so when we plan, because the core stack of the technology remains the same, that we have developed. And so I think the core insight, Anshuman, that we have understood is this industry is all about, I think extreme obsession of the customer service. So it's a customer NPS is the only thing that matters. Like if you are, let's say, a customer 2 years later on, and we deliver a phenomenal wedding, like a great pre-wedding planning journey, strong product optimization, like product standardization, competitive pricing. We don't overcharge you. It's very standard price. We don't do that intentionally. We have number of opportunities to overcharge, and we completely disallow that in the company. We said no,
Mhm.
not good for the customers.
Yeah.
So so first is we'll always, the stack is reliability. You have chosen a company that's reliable. That is
Yeah.
the word. As long as we do that, we see, I think, people are happy, our customers are happy, their guests are happy. Recently we've delivered, I think, in this two wedding that I'm aware of, we do 50s, every month now. We got, just after the wedding, their friends want to get married, with
Mhm.
this, because they really like, I think, the structure that we have built. So
Right.
anybody today, the scale that which we operate, the affordability level that we have offered, and the reliability and how serious we are about making things reliable, with accountability, that is what actually brings in. And I think one short answer is, I think, our partners, we work with 2,000 partners across the country today. These are annually contracted. We are now contributing 30 to 40% of their annual income. So once they partner with us, their income just keeps growing.
Mhm.
Their service quality, their flexibility towards our customers is more. And we also like it, they also like it. So that is, I think, our platform has done a great job, for our customers, for our suppliers, and we're just starting up right now. And
Mhm.
this is just I think, just very, very early stage, on how offline to online journey of these consumers are going in India,
Mhm.
on the wedding journey. And we hope, maybe we can write a global playbook, to this.
Yeah. Pawan, you did talk about the customer persona and all. How do you educate your customer? Yeah, in India, people are now buying so much through online, be it a airline ticket or a hotel or rooms in hotel and whatnot, the car rental, everything. But this idea that hey, I am giving you one of my biggest moments in my life for a fee. Will you be able to deliver? How in the early days, how did you educate your customers?
We couldn't actually. So the kickstart and the problem, right? The engine was not starting. So we're just picking any event, anything. First, we had no idea about pricing. We were just super. We were not affordable. We were charging something that was just, the wedding was not feasible. So our first set of bookings was at 999 rupees, 1,000 rupees, and we'll say, no, we'll do your wedding. And it was like, what?
Yeah.
It was just completely, it was shocking. It was just not possible. And we were like, okay, let's just have some consumers, let's talk to them. But our events were small, engagements, photography events. I have personally gone to some of them just to check how we're doing quality. Our models were not ready. We
Mhm.
thought maybe we'll do complete service, or it's a managed marketplace. What do we do? Or should we start selling the leads to some other companies? And we just did not know. We're like, why don't we just talk to the customers and just do it, and then we figure out. So first
Mhm.
6 months, it was all hit and trial. I think the another 6 months is when the hit and trial actually ended, and then we figured out a managed marketplace that was working well. So Bangalore went through, such kind of, I think, 1 year journey. And once we had more confidence, then we launched Delhi, and then Rajasthan and Goa, and then After Bangalore, the fastest was Goa picked up very, very well. I mean, our team was pretty good. The product actually got ready by then. Then Delhi picked up, and now it's actually Jaipur. Eventually, soon it's going to be Udaipur, and then Thailand is our next size in the market.
Mhm.
But yes, we have went through that. We just did not know the answer. We just did it. I think the first 30 to 50 events, our average order value was in Indian rupees was 50,000, was 80,000 rupees, was $1,000. Now
$1,000.
our average, yes, now our average order value fast forward has gone to 25 to 30,000 dollars, and
Mhm.
now we don't take any fulfillment that's less than $15,000. We are not accepting it. So we
Mhm.
command it because we know how we want, because we're very confident of the service quality that we deliver.
Mhm. So good. Okay, when did you realize that you needed outside capital to grow, and how did you prepare for that?
So I wouldn't want to raise any capital for this company unless I'm absolutely convinced that it is a disservice to the company. So disservice means when we know that we are convinced we are stopping the growth of the company. So I was not convinced. So for 18 months of time, obviously it was incubated, within my previous company, and eventually the spin off and
Mhm.
complete. I think a new company, a new capital was formed. Then after that, we were like, hey, we need to sustain, because by that time we had done 100 weddings we have already delivered. And our season was happening. We want to deliver more weddings. We need to hire resources. So we then again raised bare backbone. We did not raise a lot of money. Um, so look, I have raised $11 million in the previous company. So we could raise more. But my question was, do we have to? Because
Mhm.
more money actually is more harmful in my experience,
Yeah.
because you tend to just overspend, and you just take many bets. Most of them did not work, and you are not constrained. You are not thinking deeply about things in terms of high productivity. So we raised 1 million pre-seed. I think around January of this year, December, January, February, I think about 2 months of process. So,
Mhm.
we did that. We put the funds to the company, and then we started again. Most of them was with technology development, then marketing and operational stability, in our different cities, which we are investing, because each city takes roughly 3 to 4 quarters to actually to get into full throttle, and you
Right.
have to invest. You can't move out of the city in a quarter. Otherwise, I mean, it's a seeding time, of a city. So we did that. So that was, we have only raised $1 million so far. So
Mhm.
today, I mean, now our claim is, and our confidence is, we are the largest in India in terms of our revenue. Okay, in terms of our service orders, nobody has achieved this scale in early stage itself. We are largest in terms of revenue. We're largest in terms of city operations. Nobody has done that, and only with $1 million of pre-seed capital. So that just shows very, very high, I think, capital efficiency. I think compared to, we just surpassed our competition as well. That has raised $14 million. So that just really shows, how we run the company. So just
Mhm.
keep the cost low, pass these to the consumers, keep operating, keep it low light, and then after that, now what we are doing, about 100 wedding orders booking a month. But I think now our goal is to do 10,000 orders, and we're like, man, we would need strong product development. We would need, I think, marketing support, because people don't know about us. We would need to launch more cities. We require capital from here. So that's when
Mhm.
we feel that we are convinced now, by not doing it, we are not growing the company. And that's when you go. So you take capital as a fuel, not as a survival. So I think
Mhm.
that phase, 2 years, I think we have struggled. We have just made sure we survived. We made sure we're capital efficient, and we're like, okay, now fuel actually now powers, which is now, and now we play on this fund. Short story is, so my co-founder Rahul is very strong in tech and product, and I'm very strong on fundraising. So these two is, so the wedding company is best to see, because these two founders best strength hasn't come on the ground yet, because we were just focused build the business correct way, which I think you do it, customers also like it. I think investors, everybody likes it, employees also like it.
So in your previous company, you have raised, as you said, $11 million, and in this company, $1 million. And we met at TGS Thai Global Summit last December in Bangalore. What are the strategies for early stage founders who are raising for the first time? Can you help them decoding it, that how to approach to an investor, how to prepare yourself for investment, any nuggets that you would like to share that has been the learning from
Yeah,
raising
I
in
mean,
$1 million?
oh, and like, first of all, I don't think I'm very good in fundraising. Maybe in early stage, yes, I've done a good job. Um, I think what I see that if the founder is convinced, it actually shows up in front of the investors. So, looks, I'll tell you a good lesson and a bad lesson as well. Bad in terms of, actually, I prefer a bad lesson that's more useful on fundraising. But first is, when do you fundraise, right? First of all, you have to be convinced that, I think, your idea, your business plan, and your team is completely committed to deliver it, because you can't play with somebody's money consciously, right? I mean, which is, look, you are putting all your efforts. Look, it's very risky. Investors understand it, but I think consciously you are committed to it and you want to deliver on that. And it has to be very ambitious goal. I mean, if you're just looking to run a bootstrap company, absolutely good. You should never go to the investors. So there are no two paths. Like, oh, I'll do bootstrap, but will also fundraise. No, either you do bootstrap, be happy about that, own the company, or when you go to investors, you are part taking. They're going to be part of that. You are sharing the ownership, and you have to be very, very okay with it, because in return, you're asking capital. So it's going to come at a price. And then partner with some good investors who can understand, and at least a 3 to 5 year time frame for angels. If they're looking for before it's not happening, it's going to put more undue pressure. And I mean,
Mhm.
most chances, I mean, the mortality rate is very, very high. The startup is going to die best despite the most committed team, because market goes wrong, timing goes wrong, team leaves, product doesn't work, product market fit doesn't come, revenue doesn't come in. Sometimes when you make revenue, you don't have enough profits, and then their costs are high. Just thousands of things that can go wrong. But you are like, you're really, really signing up for this torturous journey, and you still enjoy that. So that's a founder that I'll admire. They actually like it. They're nerds. They enjoy it. Whosoever stages, they don't want to give it up, and they're attempting. They must be backed. Now, if they can be given better some guidance, maybe
Right.
good team over time, a good board, and this board is also a good idea. I was completely against board in the last company. I'm like, no, a good board is very, very important, especially for a
Mhm.
complex company. Unless it just okay, so that's some fundraising. Now, the real lesson of fundraising is, nobody's a good fundraiser. The hit rate is 1 to 2%. So after fundraising, I mean, during fundraising, keep smiling, give the best shot. Happened, did not happen. After the call, forget it. Just be pessimistic. It's not going to happen. Move to the next one. So one of the founder friends told me, I think, Hotjar founder, Mispa, my friend, he told Pawan,
Uh-huh.
look, founder, we are in the business of credit card selling business. So what does a credit card salesperson do? Like, wake up in morning, go to the street, in the sun's heat. I mean, you're going to be
Yeah.
sweaty, but you got to keep selling your credit card, and you want to keep hearing no's. Keep smiling, keep smiling, keep smiling. You can't be sad in front of the customers. And then after that, at the end of the day, you will sell one credit card, close your day, go back to sleep, and be happy, and wake up again and start your day again. That's a credit card selling business. And in
Mhm.
some days, you'll be able to sell zero credit cards.
Yeah.
Okay, and in some days you will sell some more. That's fundraising. So I think one should not be. I mean, look, I have gone through the same journey. I'm raising other, I think, 1 million now. And initially it was not picking up, and I'm like, I just remember that lesson. What I'm looking for, I'm looking for a check, or who am I?
Mhm.
I'm a credit card sales guy. I gotta
Right.
keep smiling and move on, and you get back to the company and build the company. In anybody will like today, like, I mean, when people hear our numbers and this, they were like, amazing, guys. So if you're okay, if your business is not strong, if you're not narrating it, correctly, and if you're not putting on board, nobody's going to partner with you. And after that,
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, don't be hopeful. Just keep pitching,
Yeah.
because you have to make the world believe. So
Mhm.
I think that mindset, I mean, that story really, like, that is what a message I tell to my team. It does not matter no's. You got to keep smiling, keep
Mhm.
smiling. You have signed up for the torturous journey, and that is a joy. And
Right.
in what happens over time, you have very healthy customers, great employee team. You become a brand. It's great for the country. I mean, you become a category leading business, but you have to go through that sacrifice.
Right.
to get there, and you also get admiration and respect, because of that from
Yeah.
your,
Exactly.
also to people. Yes.
Yeah. I'll add two more things. Be ready for the investors. Many a times I'm sitting at a pitching event, and we do two pitching event every month, second and fourth Thursday of the month, and there are companies from Africa, Australia, Europe, certainly US and India pitching to us. The next one is tomorrow, and many of the founders can't even complete their pitch in the allocated time frame, and they haven't practiced. At times, they will keep talking about the tech, they will not talk about the business. They are not sure of the numbers, they cannot confirm their valuation, that, how did they arrive to that valuation? And why do they think
Mm-hmm.
that? And then they haven't done research on the investor also. A company which is a SaaS platform in tech, AI, pitching to an investor who primarily invests in medtech doesn't make sense. If you do your
Mm-hmm.
homework, then you will be at a better position, and then your
Okay.
numbers, then your,
Yeah. Yes.
you know,
Yeah. So I was approaching. Yes, I think you're absolutely right. So in my view, that was given because maybe I had pitched it for, I don't know, like for 6 7 years. That isn't hygiene, to me. So you
yeah,
can't walk away to an investor. So I think the way I should look into that, so why Combinator told us is, you are like a paper cup. Okay, so an investor is holding a paper cap, and just below that there's a trash bag. Now, anytime towards the pitch, they can just go to throw this, your paper cup to the trash bag. That is your investor. Your job is to make sure hold it, and this is the trash bag or whatever. This is the paper bag that you have to keep holding. And the way to do it is you have limited time. The first of the market opportunity, your rights to exist, your rights to win, backed by number, whether it's traction, whether it's product traffic or MPV or growth or revenue or profits, backed by this. So the conviction and then making sure answering their questions.
yeah,
Because when they ask a question, usually it's a concern. And when you can't resolve a concern, you're not going to get a single dollar from the investor. And when
right,
you do it, this is your first pitch. Usually, nobody writes the check during the pitch. It's very, very hard in today's world. So
yeah,
there will be follow ups. Some calls will happen, maybe another 10 to 15 minutes call. And when I pitch it, I never make the investor rush that decide today. No. We
mhm,
said, look, if you're convinced, generally in Y Combinator, we have seen people take a day or two. You should always keep a piece to yourself because you want to sign up for a long journey, and most likely the capital is not returning to you. So they should just
right,
take time. So too much time, no, but investors should get up to a few days to a week. Generally, after 2 weeks, I've never seen that's closing. It's too late. You have lost
mhm,
the conviction. So I think up to a week, it's quite reasonable from the call from the investor to decide with a yes or no. You don't have to wire, but commit
yeah,
or not commit. Because
right,
after 1 week, no information will change. It's not that the startup will blow up in the growth or the startup will die. Nothing is going to happen. It's not that the revenue is going to grow. No change will happen 7 days of time. So this is the information. You have investors should be able to state yes or no. Founders should be able to accept yes or no. Move on respectfully to the
right,
next one.
right, right. Pawan, one more question. When I see once you have all the vendors signed up in a city, do you want to just limit it to the wedding, or do you want to go into conferences, birthday parties, and other aspects, or the same
Right
vendor?
now, Yeah, right now our position is to limit it to wedding. I'll tell you. So one is the name, the wedding company. First is so we have grown 100x from $10,000 to what about $1.3 million a month. Now we think we can grow from about $1 million to $100 million, which is extremely ambitious journey, to take. Now I think that we can't afford to be defocused on that. So when you corporate events, the stack, first of all, the profiling of the customer changes. It's not your retail customer. It's a B2B. Then the check size changes. The average order value is generally less. Then the need is less on booking. When you're booking, it's more on food and decor. Decor is usually a very small part of for this. So you have to now take that very, very differently. When you move to a social event like birthday parties and this, usually those are very small, intimate, events with very low average order value. Like today, we are not accepting events. The fulfillment below $15,000. Most social
Mhm.
events won't even fall into that, at least in India.
Yeah,
They'll fall under $1,000 to $5,000. So for that reason, we are very, very clear. Why don't we just do a phenomenal job of doing wedding venue booking, decor booking, photography, makeup. Eventually, wedding loan is coming in, wedding insurance is coming in. At some point, we want to sell lehenga and apparels, jewelry, honeymoon package. It's huge. I mean, for 2 to 3 years, wedding company is completely booked. And now we have to launch another 8 to 10 international cities. We have to launch from 8 local cities to 50 cities. We're like, man, like for 3, 4 years, we do not have time to think anything else. We just do a good job to the customers, company will be built.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think what is happening is everybody's excited about wedding. I'll tell you what they're excited, what they're not excited about. Extremely huge market size. Everybody relates to it. One is a repeat founder, so there's more trust that okay, they know what they're doing. Our revenue numbers are very strong. I mean, it's just 1.7 million right now annually. So they're like, okay, very ambitious. They're doing the right thing. So they're not getting concerns on that. I think one of what they have not liked, which we are resolving, is how much can you productize it? Because by nature, it looks very operational and service. But we think we are a technology company. Just that the world has not seen it. So my co-founder strength actually comes in. Technology is the true scale. That is when we get the true skill. So my learning is I want the investors to win. I'm sure that when we do that, we are going to win. Our employees are going to win. I'm just keep going to focus on our employees and customers and revenue. All of these are, by the way, linked. By the way, you can't get revenue if you don't have customers, and our
Yeah.
customer service comes from our employees and our partners. So
Mhm.
all of it is actually linked. When you do that, and then we're really getting back with some really good set of, I think, investors. I think this is going to be an institutional VC led because of our very, very big ambitions. As I've just stated 8, 10 categories that we have to do. We have to book venues in advance. It requires capital. We have to do, at some point, we have to do decor warehouse in local
Right.
cities and to improve our product quality and margins. So I think it makes sense. Good thing is, Anshuman, there are 2, 3 companies right now in India are looking to do it, which means it's good for the industry.
Yeah.
Industry is getting standardized finally. You know.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I'm committed. I'll talk to Asis and we will figure out, how best we can come in together. And as well as, I have friends who might be very, very interested because we understand the Indian market and we understand how humongous and how big it is in this industry. So still, you are at 120 crores, a booked value a year.
My view is 1,000 crores and a 20% take rate, one can do an IPO. So, and it's possible in India. So look, so from 100, our current cities can deliver a 300 crores performance, and then with more cities and more international, eventually you can even do 3,000 to 4,000 crores. But if at 1,000 crores, so we have done from 0 to 100 crores in 2 years of time. It seems very realistic. They can deliver a 1,000 crore business. At 20%, you are at 200 crore of gross profit. If you keep your expenses capped to 100 crores, you deliver a 100 crore PAT. Now, PAT is your 30 to 48 of the P earning is what you can get. So,
Yeah,
30 to 40 times of your PAT is your 3,000 to 4,000 crore. Very reasonable, about $300 million company, $350 million company. But so many companies in India have listed,
yeah,
with that. So I rather than stating a big giant goal, which we obviously have to cross that boundary, but I'm saying, hey, let's just be realistic. Let's only focus on 1,000 crore. Let's just do this. When you do
mhm,
that, nobody's stupid here to stop at that. If
yeah,
something is working, we want to keep doubling down on that. But we can do a lot with multi geographies. But finally, like I'm happy with myself that a seed stage companies is not immature and it's not too stupid to talk about an IPO when they're just starting up, business.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
No,
backing with the numbers, with the numbers that
yeah,
we have.